earlier this week, we learned that the Trump presidential campaign was hit by a hack and leak operation. A bunch of internal documents, and bunch is a technical term for a lot, were exposed, including a 271-page dossier detailing J.D. Vance's vulnerabilities. Really? 271 pages? How many vulnerabilities has he got? Although maybe the firm that was doing the vetting was getting paid by the word. Now, the FBI and other investigators are digging into this cyber attack, and the prime suspect is a group of Iranian hackers known as Mint Sandstorm. There's a catchy name. These hackers have ties to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, so obviously this is not just your average cybercrime. Reports say the hackers managed to get into the personal email account of Roger Stone. Remember him? Longtime Republican operative and Trump ally. From there, well, they tried to break into the account of a senior Trump campaign official, aiming to infiltrate the entire campaign network. The attack happened in June and sparked a major response from the Trump campaign, the FBI, and Microsoft, which jumped in to stop the breach and assess if there was a larger threat coming from Iran. And hint, of course there is. Stone was later informed by Microsoft and the FBI that his email had been compromised by a foreign state actor. The hackers intended to use his account to trick campaign officials into clicking on a malicious link, potentially giving them access to sensitive information. Interestingly, the FBI also briefed the Biden-Harris campaign around the same time, warning them about similar attempts by Iranian hackers to target their campaign. They're equal opportunity hackers, obviously. Now, to dive deeper into this, we've got Brandon Weichert. He's the author of The Shadow War, Iran's Quest for Supremacy, an extremely interesting book. He's going to break down the hack and what it means for the broader cyber threat landscape. Brandon, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
Listen, let's start from the very top. Tell us what you know about this hack, when, how bad it was, and how we know, within reasonable detail, that it was the Iranians.
Well, the hack was, obviously it was bad enough to get through and all the firewalls, and they were able to find some damaging information. The Iranian goal here was obviously to sow discontent and, confusion among the campaign. It's important to note, though, that while they did certainly attempt to hack the Democrats as well to further that goal of creating chaos, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps is virulently opposed to Donald Trump's return to the White House. Obviously, he was the man who orchestrated the hit on the IRGC's commanding officer, General Qasem Soleimani, in 2020. He was sort of the General Patton of terrorism for Iran, and removing him is still creating problems for Iran on the battlefield today. So they do not want to see Donald Trump return. And one of the methods that they could easily be doing to try to complicate his political campaign is to leak damaging documents that they procured illicitly from him. But another thing I would worry about, and I've spoken to people who, former Secret Service agents who used to do presidential protective details, the one thing that I would also be worried about is the threat of escalation. Are there Iranian hitters in the United States who very much want to knock the former president out if he does look like he's going to win? And I do believe that there are Iranian hit teams in the United States already.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, there was concern, obviously, not to get down a rabbit hole, but there was concern initially that attempted assassination attempt could have had foreign connections, but from what the Secret Service has said, from what the FBI has said, they don't see any connections between foreign actors and Thomas Crooks, the now dead potential assassin. Yeah.
But I'm saying, this could be a build up to something more, and so that's always the concern with any cyber attack.
Of course. Now, from what you understand of this particular hack, they were targeting, it sounds like, initially Roger Stone. Was this the sort of phishing exercise that I think a lot of people have become used to, whether they work from a corporation and the corporation has policies that says, whatever you do, don't click on a link, or just people at home hopefully understand that they shouldn't just be clicking on any link that crosses their path. But was it as simple as that, or was it a little bit more sophisticated as far as an attack goes?
Well, they're targeting Roger Stone. He's not directly involved with the campaign. He's sort of a non-combatant in a way, in terms of the politics of the situation. And they used his lack of proper security to backdoor into the campaign. And so the severity of it probably was really just a phishing attack. There probably wasn't too much sophistication involved there. It was probably probing to see how far they could get, and they were probably very happy with how far they got. And so if I were dealing with Trump, securing the Trump campaign cybernetically, I would say that we need to worry about a lot of these other parties that have access to the former president and his inner circle, because while the campaign is usually well defended, the people who are sort of outside contractors or consultants, if you will, are usually not that well secured unless they do cybersecurity for a living, and Roger Stone did not.
Yeah, so in a sense, they were choosing an easier pathway in.
Yes.
The idea being perhaps that they'll not go straight at the campaign, which would have, you would suspect, you would hope, would have more robust IT security. So you go after somebody that, you know, is more on the civilian side, as it were, didn't have, you know, the full extent of firewalls. And
Right.
with the idea that if that person then reaches out to somebody inside the campaign, which he's likely to do just in the day-to-day
Yes.
conversations, that it will be considered a benign email from someone we already know. And the next thing you know, they've clicked on that and then they're infected. And now you're off
That's
to
right.
the races.
Exactly. And I
Okay.
would also be concerned with the fact that Roger Stone has a direct link to Donald Trump, which means that if Stone's email was compromised, it could very well be likely that President Donald Trump has been compromised by a cyber attack from Iran. And I would hope that Secret Service would basically do a check on that, because his communications as the former president might be tapped as well.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.